Good morning, and we are excited to be here today with our first episode of Question and Answer interview. And today we're here with our 2018 Arkansas Teacher of the Year, Randi House. And Randi is actually here today at the agency because we had state board, and as Teacher of the Year, she gets to serve as a non-voting member of the State Board of Education. So we announced our new 2019 Arkansas Teacher of the Year this week, and a lot of questions have come up about what does our Teacher of the Year do? So we thought it would be a great idea to share with you all kind of what our Teacher of the Year does through a question and answer video. So we're going to start with, tell us, Randi, you get a year off, a sabbatical. What does that mean, and is it really a year off? What do you do?
Well, it's definitely not a year off. I like to call it a year of service or a year of advocacy because I spend my year advocating for students and teachers around Arkansas, sharing best practices, learning from teachers in Arkansas, hanging out at the Department of Education and learning about things I don't know about, like education policy and legislation and things like that. I do a lot of traveling and getting a firsthand view inside classrooms, and that's something that is very rare for teachers to get to do, is to get to see into other people's classrooms and bring back those ideas to the State Department and to my own building and my own classroom.
Wonderful. Okay, so it is not actually a sabbatical of rest. It is a sabbatical of learning. So we're curious, as Teacher of the Year, you get to travel and network with other Teachers of the Year from all over the nation. So tell us, where have you been outside of Arkansas?
So interestingly enough, my first time to really fly as an adult, I flew when I was 15, but the first time to get on an airplane was in January. And since then I have been in 10 states. I've been to Google in California. They hosted our first induction meeting. I've been to the White House. I've been to DC twice. And I have been to every northeastern state except for Pennsylvania. That's on my to-do list before this year is up. I've been to Space Camp in Alabama and Princeton, New Jersey, and New York. And I'll be heading back to California in January for the National Championship football game.
Yes, not all teachers can say they get to go on an all-expense-paid trip to the National College Football Championship, who, by the way, strongly support teachers through their Extra Yard for Teacher program. So we know that you travel around Arkansas. Tell us some of the places that you've been here in Arkansas and some of the places you're excited about going to.
Okay, so I have been in Magnolia several times. I have been to Tyrons in East Poinsett County. I'm scheduled to go to Beebe and Star City and Poen and Fox Meadow and Nettleton. I'm scheduled to go, Watson Chapel. I'm trying to think. My schedule right now is a little bit crazy. I'm trying to hit as many areas of the state as I can. I've spoken in areas. I've spoken in Pine Bluff a couple times. I've spoken down in Magnolia several times. So I'm just trying to spread it out around the state.
Wonderful. So, what is one thing that you have learned as Teacher of the Year that you had no idea before this role and that you would want other Arkansas teachers to know?
That's a tough question. One thing that I have learned that I did not know. I think the most beneficial thing is getting this firsthand look into what the Department of Education does, to see how many people it takes to keep our education system running, how many balls are in the air at any given time, and I think more importantly, how every person who works in this building has that same focus of students first and making decisions based on student-focused learning.
I can totally agree with you on that one, Randi. So we hear that you have a special shirt that you travel in. And that T-shirt sparks some interesting conversation about education around the state. So tell us, first of all, what is this shirt that you wear? And then what has been that conversation that you've had because of it?
Yeah, so I have a shirt that has the state of Arkansas and it says Teacher of the Year on it. And I wear that anytime I'm in the airport. You see lots of people in the airport, lots of people who are not from Arkansas. And I get stopped over and over and over again. And usually it's the question of, are you really? Or are you just making that shirt up? And then they always will say, oh man, I love teachers. I love teachers. I think teachers are powerful. And this last time I flew, I met a lady, and she was actually carrying the Time magazine that was about how teachers don't get paid enough money, about teachers having to work 2 or 3 jobs. And so she saw my shirt, and she stopped me, and she said, I think you have the most important job in the world, and I think it's sad that teachers aren't paid that well. And so I took that opportunity to share about other benefits of teaching and how the power of teaching lies in making the difference in students' lives. And I got to share with her the initiatives in Arkansas, and we ended up chatting for a good 30 minutes until we got on the plane. And she ended up finding me through social media and connecting with me. And so she lives in Chicago. So I now have a friend in Chicago that I can talk education with.
It's so important to share our stories and advocate for our students in education. So thank you for that, Randy. So let's get a little personal. I'm going to say a word, a name, or a phrase, and whatever comes to mind, I want you to react to that word, name, or phrase. Are you ready? Sure. The first word I'm going to give you is kindergartners.
Crazy, but lovable.
The next 2 words I'm going to give you is because a lot of schools right now are having fun with homecoming week. So when you hear homecoming week, what comes to mind?
When I think of homecoming week, my first thought goes to the dress-up days. I'm missing out, not being in the classroom this year, not getting to dress up. I've got my tub of clothes ready to go. But I also love that feeling of coming home. I've gotten to experience that several times this year through my journey of coming home. I got to actually go home to where, my hometown and speak. I've got to go home to my very first classroom. I've gotten to go home to my current school. And so just that sense of coming home is very powerful.
And since today's so beautiful outside, how about fall weather?
Football. I immediately go to football. I love college football. And so, and pumpkins.
Absolutely. I know you carve a lot of pumpkins with those kindergarten babies. So here's the one I'm anxious to see your response. Recess duty.
Recess duty. I feel like it's watching squirrels running around. Honestly, there's kids everywhere. But I also love it's time that I can play with my kids. I love getting out there and playing basketball with my boys and climbing up on the equipment and just getting to hang out with my kids in a really relaxed fashion.
And we're going to end with the name, and the name is Miss Foley.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. So Miss Foley is that teacher for me, that one that was life-changing, the one that literally changed my life. I'm not sure how I would have gone on had she not intervened. Miss Foley is my idol. She's my hero, and she's who I base my classroom around every day.
And we're not going to cry on this Pretty Friday. Nope. So now we're going to finish up, and I just know it's October. The weather is perfect to get out and play and do things with your family. So what would you like to say to Arkansas teachers just in this time of the school year? And I know through being in the classroom all these years, this is the time of year we need a little extra pep talk. So what would you like to say to teachers?
I know we're in that slump. This was always the time of the year that I felt that slump. The newness has worn off. You've gone through 9 weeks. The weather's changing. Kids get a little antsy. Teachers get a little antsy. But I think it's really important for teachers to remember that it's okay to pause at this time of year and reconnect with your students. That's something I've had to do, especially if you feel that your class is kind of in a funk, or if you're in a funk, you're leaving in a bad mood. Just stop and take some time to reconnect with your students and find your joy again, because this slump goes into some of the most exciting time in school. Christmas season is one of my favorite times to be in a classroom, so just hang on. You can get through it.
Randy, we just want to thank you for bringing a voice to all educators around the state, and we wish you the safest of travels because your year is really just getting started. July 1 is when you started. We hope to hear from you again soon. We want you to come back and fill us in on where you've been and what you've learned. So thank you for joining us today. Happy Friday, everyone.